Pregame.com.
Welcome back to Pregame.tv. I'm your host, Marco D'Angelo, joined in studio with my main man. Looks like he just came from the beach.
Hey,
Ken, you're rocking it.
It is U.S. Open weekend. Had to get in there with the golf polo. I thought you got the memo. RJ sent that memo out.
I missed that memo. I'm sitting here 100 degrees in a suit. You guys nice. But, hey, first video, Ken, we're going to take a look at hockey. And I tell you what, these are my absolute favorite videos doing hockey. You know why? Because I'm just going to set it up. We've got the Boston Bruins at the Chicago Blackhawks. Series 1-0. Chicago, epic game in Game 1, 3 overtimes. This is your show.
Wait, did you watch it?
You know what? I'm going to admit that I watched the second overtime and part of the third overtime, only because I was at Green Valley Ranch eating dinner and they had it on the TV. I was sitting at the bar. So
well, here's the thing. We're fortunate because we're on the West Coast, right? But when I hear people talk about, yeah, I stayed up, I watched the first 2 overtimes, and then I went to bed, or people that were at the game that watched the first 2 overtimes, maybe they had to work the next. Look, if you go to a game like that, it's a playoff game. This is his championship. This is it, Stanley Cup Finals. And you stay for 2 overtimes and you leave, you ought to be. I mean, there's no excuse. I'm serious. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. No sense going. My dad, the one thing, we didn't go to a lot of games when I was growing up, but when we went, my dad would get there early for batting practice for baseball, and we would leave after the game was over. If that meant a 19-inning game, which was the longest game I was at, that meant a 19-inning game. That's the way it is. These fans, and I lived in L.A., I know those the reputation for those Dodger fans. Get there in the 3rd, leave in the 7th. It is true. I know you want to beat the traffic. If you want to beat the traffic, don't go to the freaking game. I mean, it really is. It's ridiculous.
Well, we've got Game 2, and, I know I don't follow hockey, but I know enough that, this is a big game for the Bruins. You don't want to go down, 0-2, but they will be going, back home after that. But what happens here in this one? Epic game, Boston. I know the goaltender for Boston's been playing out of his mind, only because he took out my Pittsburgh Pirates. The Penguins. We couldn't get anything going against him.
Actually, the Pirates probably would have scored more. The Penguins only got 2 goals in the 4 games.
Oh, that hurt.
I'm telling you, look, Tuukka Rask was absolutely ridiculous. And he was pretty solid in Game 1 against Chicago. Crawford was solid as well. Got a little help from his friend, the goalpost, in the second overtime. There was one that was literally sitting right there, and then it kind of jumped over Horton's stick where Boston could have ended it. But give Chicago credit. They found a way to win. They've got the better skaters. Boston has the deeper team. They go 4 lines. Goaltending, pretty much a toss-up now because Crawford has been that good. Rask has made more spectacular saves, but Crawford has made as many good saves in the playoffs.
Losing a game like that the way Boston did, and as good as the goaltender's been for Boston, psychologically, do you think that affects him, losing the game in overtime, or these guys are professionals, you turn the page and you go to the next game? Because you can't fault them. I mean, they played 3 overtimes. How many shots on goal did he block it, in the game and has saved? So it was a tremendous game, but you never like to be that guy that lets that one get by you.
Yeah, and Chicago had 55, 56 shots, whatever it was, in the into the 3rd overtime. So as good as Rask was, again, he is a professional. He's been playing well. Boston has 2 losses in their last 11 games, both 4-3, both in overtime. So I think they'll bounce back. Their mindset is, let's go into Chicago, let's get a split. They still have an opportunity to do that.
Well, you know what? This is your free pick. Let's make it official.
There you go. And we will make it official with the Boston Bruins at a plus 140. First off, I love the plus price. I thought it would be a little bit lower than this after they showed they can hang tooth and nail in Chicago. So now they get a second crack again. They're looking for the split, still have a great opportunity. Rask is solid, no doubt, and they know that they can play with the Chicago team. How about Boston had 2 power plays in the overtime, failed to score, failed to convert. So they are going to call the penalties in overtime. They've got to call it fair and square, and I thought the referees were outstanding in the first game, which was, the length of a game in a little over 2/3 of a second game. So a nice job by the officials. Chara needs to be a little bit more assertive. When you look at the lines that Boston presents, again, 4 lines. You've got Krejci, you've got Chara. Bergeron has been outstanding. Marchand, Lucic had a couple goals, nearly had the hat trick, almost got that game winner earlier. And Horton, the one that jumped over his stick, the one that he wishes would have laid down on the ice, and Boston would have won that opening game. Chicago, Crawford, like I said, has been outstanding. outstanding. He has been better than advertised. Again, Rask, I expected to up his game, but Crawford has been very solid, and that's why Chicago was able to come back from 3-1 against Detroit and then take care of business in 5 games against the Kings. And right now they have that 1-0 lead against Boston because Corey Crawford has been that stellar. Hossa, Kane, Sharp. How about Andrew Shaw? Andrew Shaw, who got the game-winning goal, got knocked on his butt in the first period. I mean, one of the cleanest checks that you'll see. He didn't whine, didn't cry to the officials, went, over-skated, and came back, ended up scoring the winning goal. So kudos to Andrew Sharp. Keith has been solid. Bickle's been good. Still missing in action. Where is Jonathan Toews? Only 1 goal in the playoffs. If you're a Blackhawk fan, you're saying, wow, this is great. We only need 3 more wins to win the Stanley Cup for the 2nd time in 4 years, and our main guy, Jonathan Toews, only has 1 goal. So they still expect him to do some scoring. But I'm going to take the plus 140. I have Boston in the series as well. I thought it was a great price to get them. They do go home. If they get the split, I think they're on their way to winning their second Stanley Cup in 4 years. So that is my play on pregame.tv. Take the Bruins plus 140. Don't have to lay any juice. You win this one. It's a nice little plus price, and the Bruins will be right where they need to be in this Stanley Cup final series, Marco.
All right. Thanks, Ken. We're going to be back next. We're going to go to Major League Baseball. We're going to my hometown, PNC Park, for Sunday afternoon baseball. Dodgers, Pirates up next. Pregame.tv.